Okay, I'm going to take a look at Visual Basic, but a sort of cut down version of it called Visual Basic for Applications. It's not truly Visual Basic, it won't run alone, it only ever works in Word, Excel, or what have you. So it's not really useful for programming a project in, but it does contain the same sort of characteristics so that you can learn to program in Basic. So I need to start Word. So I've got Word 2003 here. If you've got a version which is later 2007 and so on, and then you will find it in sort of file and a sort of configuration in here, and you need to put the developer menu on, and what you'll end up with is a menu which will have developer along here. I'll show you that in the 2000 and hopefully I've got the right version here. So if I go to Microsoft Word 2010, if I go to File, I get Options, and in Options I can I think change the quick access toolbar. No, it's one of these things down here. General, Advanced. One of these things down here will say Developer Edition, which will give me the menu that I'm looking for. Customize the ribbon. There we go. All I need to do is put a tick in that box and I end up with a new menu at the top called Developer, and I can do my Visual Basic in that. But I'll have a look at both of them, and we'll go over to 2003. In 2003 you'll find it in Tools, Macro and Visual Basic Editor. And straight away you can see that it has, if you've looked at the Delphi version, and I insist that you look at the Delphi version before looking at this, you've got the same sort of windows with information about your project here, attributes down here, or properties, and there is none on the screen at the moment, but I would need to create a new user form. There we go, I've got the form, and behind the form I've got the code for it. So let's do the same thing that we did in Delphi. I'm going to put a button on here. This one's called command button, so I can change the caption to my button. So you should have watched the Delphi one before, and somewhere down here I'll also, there's the name, I can call it command button, my button, and that's the way of laying out variables or visual variables in a Visual Basic. Is to start off with CB to tell me it's a command button, and then the name of the button. So that's the job done. Now if I want to code on it, I can switch to the code window, or I can just double click on my button, and we've got yet another subroutine. That one says subroutine. So if we were looking at, as with Delphi, if we were looking at these, we are actually in one of these predefined processes, so we're a bit further along, but we need to do that just to be in Visual Basic. There is no easier method than that. It starts off at predefined processes. You can think of that as a start and an end to your program. They're just small programlets which work whenever you press the button. So let's take a look at this one. I'm not going to explain too much about what it does. So when I click my button, I want to have a variable x, and I'm going to declare the variable first, dim x as integer. Now with Visual Basic, notice that when I pressed enter, it capitalised the D, capitalised the A, capitalised the I. I didn't have to bother with that, and neither do I need to put things on the end. There is no semicolons or colons at the end of a line, at the end of a statement. Visual Basic and Basic itself does not contain anything at the end of a line. So that is saying I want a variable x to be an integer. I have to declare it before I can use it, and then I can just say x equals 3, and that's it. The job is done. And just the same as in Delphi, another language, I just need to hit the run button. It comes up in Microsoft Word with a form. If I click on the button, that's just set x equals to 3. Let's just nip over to the 2010 version. So I've now got the developer menu on here. If I go to the developer menu, I can do the same sort of thing. Go to Visual Basic, get the same window. Let's create a new user form. Insert a user form. Let's put a button on. Let's name it. Caption is my button, and the name is, let's just call this one CB my button. Same as the other version. Double click on the button to get to the code. Same layout for the code. This is a subroutine, and notice we've got ends as well. It's going to be very important when we're playing around with pseudocode. Do the same sort of thing. Dim x as integer, and then set x equal to 3. Job done. Let's just indent those. There we go, that's a lot nicer. Go back to my form and run it. Press my button. I've just set x equal to 3. Delphi and Visual Basic for applications always work in these windows. Delphi is a lot better than Visual Basic because it works in the operating system, in Windows itself. Unfortunately, VBA only works in this particular case inside Word. It won't even work in Excel. So, but it does give you a visual interface, and it does work in exactly the same way. So you can choose which one you want to play with, but this one would not be suitable for writing your project in. So that's a look at setting x to 3 in all languages, including some visual ones.